Hello, my dear learners. Welcome to a new session here at Skillfident with your mentor Namita. And in today's class, I'm going to address those learners who feel that learning to speak in English fluently is a very difficult task. If English is the toughest language for you to express your thoughts in, then you have stopped at the right place, because in today's session I'm going to simplify the process for you. I'm going to make you feel that English is a really simple language to express your views, your thoughts, your feelings in. But still, if you feel that English is very difficult, ma'am, I have worked very hard to learn this language. I'm working on learning English from a very long time, but I've never been successful. Then tell me one thing. What do you think about French as a language? Learning French? Learning Spanish? Learning Japanese? You very well know that these days in schools at junior levels only, in classes 3 or 4, they are introducing French, Spanish, Japanese. Sanskrit has always been there. So children have to pick up one language out of these, and they have to develop a skill to learn, write. They even appear for exams, speak in these languages. Now, we as Indians, I'm talking about India and the neighboring countries, have had English as a compulsory part of our curriculum right from our childhood. It was introduced in our syllabus. We have been studying in English, we've been reading English books, we have been cramming our answers in English, we have been learning a lot of word meanings, we have been using English to Hindi dictionaries like this. So English is not at all new language. If English is difficult, then French must be something completely out of our area of understanding. Spanish should be more difficult. Japanese should be the toughest one. What about Sanskrit? When I had Sanskrit in my class, I think 6, 7 or 8, it was very hard. Learning those patti, patta, patanti, everything was so hard. But we still managed to appear for exams. Then how do you think English is difficult? You've been reading English books, you have been watching English movies, you have Netflix, Prime, there are so many English series, you've been watching English YouTube videos, you've been seeing so many people speaking in English, the Indians, the people from your neighboring countries. Then how is English difficult? It is just a block in your mind which keeps telling you that English is difficult, English is difficult. While in reality, if there is another language which you can express yourself very well in, apart from your mother tongue, it is English only. Of course, you can speak really well in your mother tongue. We all do. But if there is another language apart from your mother tongue, it has to be English, because it was there right in your growing up years. You have written so many answer sheets, you have appeared for so many examinations where you had to compulsorily write answers in English. It is not an alien language. French is alien, Spanish might be alien, Japanese is so hard, Chinese, but people are learning those languages. So if there is something which can be very simple for you to learn, that is English. Now, what to do? If you still feel it is difficult, what needs to be done? We have to bring 2 major changes into our approach. That's it. We'll change just 2 things and our problem will be solved. We are going to change our focus and we are going to bring change in our mindset. Changing our focus and mindset. How? Let's talk about it in detail. Now, what you are focusing on when you think of English is the English that you've learned in school. The typical school English is what you think about. English as a subject. English where you had to appear for an exam. English which was all about grammar, which was all about 3 forms of verb, which was all about tenses, which was all about learning different prepositions or conjunctions and how to join phrases or clauses. you are still looking at the school level English, which you found difficult. Like some students found mathematics to be very difficult. Similarly, some found English to be hard. Now your focus is still on the same English where we have to study grammar, where we have to cram the answers and just paste it into our answer sheet, or we have to learn word meanings, or we have to look up for difficult vocabulary into dictionary. English is not that. Now you have to acquire it as a basic skill, a life skill, so that you can appear for interviews, so that you can get promotion in your office, so that you can travel, so that you can enhance your personality. It is more of a skill now. It's no more a language, it's a global thing. Everybody around you is speaking English. You have already seen people being so fluent and confident. How have they done it? The only thing is that their focus was not on the theoretical part of English. Their focus was on the practical aspect of English. So you have to change your focus from the theory, the English theory, to English practical. English is definitely not something where you have to cram sentences, where you have to go for rote learning. There are people who are telling you to translate the sentences from Hindi to English. No, that's not the way. Learn it as a skill. Focus on reading more. Focus on consuming a lot of English content. In English content, I just don't mean YouTube videos. English content is there in the books also, the text that is right there in front of your eyes. English content is also listening to podcasts where people are telling you about different skills in life. It is not just about learning grammar. It is not just about grasping vocabulary. It is about learning different things in English. So move from theory to practical. So that is where you have to bring change in your focus. From theory to practical, from school English to real life survival English, where you have to speak, where you have to have the right words, the right sentences, the right expression. So we will not focus on grammar, we will not focus on just cramming sentences, we will focus more on keeping ourselves engaged or immersing ourselves into a lot of English. So that's what you have to do, changing your focus. The second thing is changing your mindset. Now your mind, which is convinced that English is very difficult, needs to be told that English is not difficult, English is simple, because I have been studying English since childhood. The mind which is convinced that nobody in your family can speak in English, so obviously you cannot speak in English. Your mind says that you are from a Hindi medium or any regional medium background, that is why you cannot speak in English. Let me tell you, I have learners who have had an entire English medium schooling in college, they still cannot speak. So that it has nothing to do with your medium of education. Your mind is convinced that if you are from a certain background, you cannot speak in English. You have to change this mindset and tell it that if everybody is speaking in English, I too can speak in English. It is not that hard. Mindset change is the biggest change that you have to bring in order to acquire English speaking as a skill. Start telling this mind that you can speak in English fluently and confidently. So write this down on a piece of paper or in your diary if you are maintaining any. I can speak in English very well. I can reach my goals just by developing the skill of speaking English fluently. I can form the sentences correctly with absolutely wonderful vocabulary. I can keep my English simple and expressive on my own. I don't need to join classes. I don't need to buy courses. I can develop this skill simply by following self-learning techniques. Yes, this needs convincing. Your mind needs convincing. So if your mind is not ready to think about English as a simple language, you have to start feeding those thoughts into it. your subconscious, if it is ready to believe that you can speak in English, that will be the day when you will actually start speaking in English. You will notice that your words will start flowing out of your mouth. So you have to bring these two changes to make yourself feel that English is not difficult. It is very simple. Change your focus from school English, the typical English where you learn a lot of grammar, you are focusing on theory, to the practical aspects of English, and change your mindset from I cannot speak in English fluently because of a number of reasons to I can speak in English because so many people from my area only, from my country, from my region, from my continent are representing our area in English very well to the entire world. We have such wonderful speakers from our nation only. So why cannot I? Of course I can speak in English. And you just have to manage to express your thoughts. You don't need to become a public speaker. You don't need to win competitions. You have to manage an English where you are able to express yourself clearly to people in your office or in your area or in your social circle. And that much of English you can very easily speak. So how many of you are ready to bring this change in your life where you're willing to change your focus and mindset? Let me know in the comment section saying, yes ma'am, from now on I'll change my focus and my mindset. And I'm going to see you in my next video where I'll share more techniques and more tips to become fluent in English. Till then, keep practicing your English, keep your mindset very positive. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye for now.